Hello, everyone. I welcome you to this session on Life Clean Energy Transition Call 21. I'm Christian Strasser. I'm the head of unit of the Life Energy and Life Climate Unit in CINEA, the Green Deal agency, a new agency set up, and LIFE program has been, let's say, placed there to be implemented. We have the clean energy transition under LIFE as the fourth sub-program. It's a new program under LIFE. And I just want briefly to show you where we come from, where these activities in fact come from. It's always related to market uptake actions under the predecessor programs. And the predecessor programs were in fact in 2003, 2013, you see that on the left bottom, the Intelligent Energy Europe program, with a budget of 1 billion euros around, and 1,000 projects have been funded during this period on energy efficiency and renewable energy. In 2014, 2020, these activities have been implemented under the Horizon 2020 program, under the energy efficiency part. Again, here, similar, close to 1 billion euros was the funding. The available funding for these activities, and some 400 projects have been financed there. And now we are coming to the current MFF, the multi-annual financial framework, so the programming period for 21 to 27, in fact, where this program, these energy efficiency activities are under LIFE, as I said before, as a separate sub-program. The key objective of this energy efficiency sub-program is in fact creating market and regulatory enabling conditions for the clean energy transition, with a focus, and that's important to say as well, on non-technological aspects. So this sub-program has had always, and will have in the future as well, a very strong EU energy policy context and the implementation, in relation to the implementation of EU legislation. So it's really a program to support the delivery of EU policies in the field of sustainable energy. And in particular, we speak today about the Green Deals, the implementation of the European Green Deal. We speak about the Energy Union with the 2030 energy and climate targets. You have certainly heard about that. And the European Union's long-term decarbonization strategy. To show you the LIFE program in this overview here, you see the 4 sub-programs. The LIFE program Nature and Biodiversity is the first one, Circular Economy and Quality of Life, Climate Mitigation and Adaptation as well in my unit, and then the Clean Energy Transition. The LIFE program, just one word about that, the LIFE program will turn 30 years next year. So it's a program which exists very long. In fact, it's a sustainable program in terms of repetition. So it's a very much in the beginning nature and environment focused program, but with the years, in fact, it has developed and includes today as well climate mitigation adaptation activities and support. And as I said before, and what is the topic of our presentation is the clean energy transition. Sorry for that. So the clean energy transition here is, you see, it's enabling actions for energy efficiency and renewable energy policy. We have a deadline here, the 12th of January 22 is the deadline for this sub-program to receive your applications. The next slide shows us, in fact, the 5 intervention areas. We have under LIFE a multi-annual work program, which is running from 21 to 24. And in this work program, under this sub-program, we have intervention areas. And they are 5 intervention areas, which are broken down later on to 18 policy topics, or the priority topics, which you will have, or which you see as well in the publication of our call. And I will now go through these 5 intervention areas with some related project topics, priority topics, and then we discuss them briefly here. The first topic is on policy framework. We see that cities and regions are key in the energy transition. They're the key actors in the clean energy package, and they're the closest to the very heart of the energy transition, which is at the end the citizen. They are the innovators and influencers. So cities and regions are the influencers in our policies. They often follow targets with very ambitious levels. Often they go beyond the European targets. We are providing technical support to municipalities for capacity building to professionalize and accelerate the planning process in energy efficiency measures and activities. We also support, of course, member states in the efforts to implement legislation in the field of sustainable energy. And here we speak notably about Energy Efficiency Directive, the Renewable Energy Directive, and the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive. Collaboration between government levels is also crucial to allow, in fact, the delivery of the clean energy transition and of the European Green Deal, as I said before. So these are is the first intervention area. The second intervention area is concentrating on technology rollout, digitalization, new market services, as you can see on the first line. Most of the live CET, clean energy transition topics, have a buildings dimension. So really a buildings dimension, what is happening in or around buildings. And here in this area of intervention, we speak also about the EU renovation wave. It's a clear strategic objective, doubling the annual energy renovation rate of residential and non-residential buildings by 2030. So that's really a strategic objective. By 2030, it should be doubled. And in this context, the topics here aim to facilitate a greater market uptake and large-scale rollout of holistic, industrialized, deep renovation solutions for buildings, and increase also the uptake of concrete energy-saving measures in the whole value chain of SMEs, industry, and service providers. Also here, what you see, build up skills in the middle of this slide. We also continuously upskilling building professionals across the value chain. This is also crucial, in fact, to get what we want. We have also here an element, one topic here, which is related to cooling demand of buildings. We know that cooling is the fastest growing use of energy in buildings. Without ambitious actions, the energy demand for space cooling will more than triple by 2050. And this is why the growing demand for cooling needs to be addressed. We have also here established innovative business models. Yeah, we also need innovative business models that reduce consumption and optimize energy flows, and also integrate different energy sectors and different market segments that combine energy service with other benefits. And last but not least, we have a smart ready private topic here, which is in fact to contribute to the successful implementation and market uptake of the Smart Readiness Indicator, as initiated in the Energy Performance of Building Directive. The next slide goes to the third, in fact, area of intervention. It's attracting private financing for sustainable energy. We need for this transition, for this clean energy transition, of course, investments. And significant investments will be needed for the next year to fulfill the targets which were set at the level of the European Union, and in particular, the objectives of the European Green Deal. And in this context, it is very clear that the public funds alone will not be enough to cover the investment gap, so which can be observed at the market, and they should therefore be used in the future more and more at the end, predominantly to crowd in and leverage private finance. So public funds should crowd in and leverage private finance, because without private finance, it will not be possible to achieve what we intend to have in a couple of years, in 2030, 2050. So both financing topics you see here have a focus on energy efficiency, logically, and they support the EU sustainable finance policy and legislation, including the related EU taxonomy. The fourth area of intervention is here related to development of local and regional projects. We see here home renovation services, so really something addressed, offering all-inclusive service packages to homeowners. Yeah. The topic of the EU community of practitioners also is to provide additional support to build a bridge between existing and emerging local and regional initiatives. In our Horizon portfolio of the last 7 years, we have about 20 new schemes which have been set up throughout Europe, and also schemes supported by ELENA, a sister program, but also other regionally driven initiatives that are starting to operate in the market. The aim here is to establish a community of practice, keyword one-stop shop, so a community of practice, a kind of one-stop shop for one-stop shops. Yeah. So we have already good experience in that, and we want to in fact further develop in that under this umbrella, under this topic. We also target, in fact, coal infrastructure. Coal infrastructure is still present in 108 European regions, and close to 237,000 people are employed in coal-related activities. Also, 10,000 people are employed in peat extraction activities, and around 6,000 are employed in oil shale industry. The aim of this topic is to ensure that investments triggered by the Just Transition Mechanism support the transition towards an energy-efficient, renewable, energy-based economy, which is based on an inclusive, consumer, and community-centered approach. And last but not least, we have here this topic of disruptive PDA, project development assistance, is one of the driving forces for support mobilizing investment, operating in complementarity, again, with our sister initiative, CINEA, which is managed by the European Investment Bank. The essence here is helping public and private promoters to build and launch a concrete investment pipeline into sustainable energy. The last area of intervention is addressing or is targeting citizens, involving and empowering citizens in the clean energy transition. We put citizens here at the center of the energy system, and a fair and a just energy transition is one of the pillars of the EU energy policy. And that is why we are launching a specific topic on involving and empowering citizens. The first one you see here in relation to vulnerable districts. Energy poverty continues to be a major challenge for Europe. We have in Europe around 34 million people, citizens, who are unable to keep their homes adequately warm. So this is also an area to be addressed. So energy poverty, which is, by the way, also in the Green Deal, in the European Green Deal, a topic to be addressed, energy poverty. So the second one is projects here must, in fact, are focused on behavioral change measures for households, that citizens also change their behavior, and this is supported by this area of intervention. I come to the concrete projects intended, in fact, under this subprogram. So they are called in the subprogram other actions projects, and we are speaking here, like in the past, of CSA. CSA stands for Coordination and Support Actions. So we want to develop and replicate EU-wide best practices on energy efficiency and renewable energy, and to address market barriers identified in the proposals. Again, I want to reiterate here, those of you who know the LIFE program from the very past, these projects under energy efficiency are different than the normal traditional projects which have been financed under LIFE. Under LIFE, traditionally, it was a bottom-up initiative, a bottom-up support of projects, where here it's more policy-driven, and it's indeed the area of interventions and the policy topics which are, in fact, the guiding lines what we want to achieve with the funding available under this subprogram. So it implies here that we have to create large European multi-actor projects consortia. So the single beneficiary project is rather the exception. Yeah. So it's really multi-actor project consortia with many or EU-wide with different member states. So respond to detailed core requirements. That's also an element very important here. So the core requirements drafted in response to specific policy needs, as I just said, the 18 we had here, and intensively interacting with European policy making process and actively feeding back to policy development. So that's very crucial under this sub-program, and that's a slight difference to what has been done in the LIFE so far. The next slide, in fact, is main features of CSA, of coordination and support activities. It's a tightly predefined scope of the proposal in response to call. As I said already, it's an engagement of multiple stakeholders in a large transnational consortium. Yeah. We are not financing here any equipment costs or any other investment costs or whatever, or infrastructure. We are here really mainly financing and supporting labor costs. So it's very oriented on labor costs, capacity building, etc. So that's also a difference, and significantly higher associated organizational coordination efforts. That's also an element here. But all that together justify a higher co-funding rate. At least this is the intention and the support from the legislator. A higher co-funding rate of 95%. So in this area of CSAs, the co-funding rate under life is 95%, which is by far higher than in the usual 60% under life. You can get more information on the funding and tender portal. We have most likely already seen that. You see also on the live web page, Multi-Annual Work Program 21-24. The detailed presentation recording, which I'm just contributing to. Also a seminar, how to write an excellent proposal. And there's also the e-grants online manual. That's also new life is from now on, in fact, under the e-grants tools, which have to be used to ask funding under the LIFE program. A hint to our clean energy newsletter, a very important link and hint, in fact, please subscribe to this clean energy newsletter. You will be always well informed when receiving newsletters from us in whatever is going on under clean energy, not only under LIFE, but also under different programs like Horizon Europe, the Innovation Fund, and also the predecessor programs, Horizon 2020. So there are always program news available in this clean energy newsletter, and I really want to make publication for that, publicity for that to subscribe and also promote the clean energy newsletter. We have several thousands subscribers already. So in fact, please follow us there. That's very beneficial. That can be very beneficial for you. And it's also the communication channel for us with you together. I come to the end of my presentation. I want to, first of all, thank you, but also I think and hope that you are still and even more interested in these various topics we present with this call, and the various topics, policy topics, but also the funding opportunities which are here in this sub-program. And I wish you all the best for your application, and we are really happy to receive your applications. Your ideas are the basis for a successful implementation of the program. Thank you very much.